entertained? Are you not entertained?
Welcome back to the Whiskey Jedi podcast. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. My name is Jake Berlin. I am the Whiskey Jedi. Hope everyone is doing fantastic out there. It is Tuesday, February 18th, and we are here for a full Captain America Brave New World breakdown because, my goodness, was the discourse online absolutely nuts. Just crazy over the last, I'll say week, because that's when the official reviews dropped from the critics. And then we all got to see it Thursday night and beyond. And the discourse online has been chaotic as I have seen for a Marvel, an MCU film in quite a while. And we're going to jump into it tonight. We're going to give our thoughts. We're going to talk about all the responses, get into some ideas and theories and whatnot. It was a crazy weekend. And I have a special guest on a couple. I was supposed to have a couple of special guests. Sean Wingblade was going to be joining tonight. Unfortunately, he's stuck at work. It happens. And so I have a former fellow podcaster joining me as well, which I'm excited to. Let's be honest, he's the perfect person to talk Marvel Cinematic Universe with. You guys all know him, so we'll get to him here in just a few minutes. But I hope everyone's doing great. Thank you guys for joining me. All of you guys that'll be popping in here a little bit later. If you guys have questions about the film that you guys want answered from us, please leave those in the chat, as well as your theories and your comments on not just the film, but the discourse, opinions about everything. I'm going to be picking things out, kind of starring them as we go. And if you guys have anything that looks interesting and unique compared to what we're talking about, we will definitely do so. And Optimism Prime, Jesse, thank you so much for revealing that. Yes, this will be full spoilers. We will not be holding back. Once we start the discussion, you guys are more than welcome to leave all of your spoiler comments in the chat. And remember, no matter what our opinions are on movies, we do this for the fun of it. So don't you dare come after anybody, especially in my chat. Let's go ahead and move forward, get into the discussion because we have I'm leaving the whole show for it. Because it requires the whole show and probably beyond. I will say, knowing the two of us, it'll more than likely go past the hour because of not just the film, but theories and what's coming with the MCU. And so prepare yourself. But let's go ahead and get the show moving. You know him, you love him. You haven't seen him in a little while, but he's officially back. Mr. Brian Avalosino is here. What's up, buddy?
Hello. It has been, I think, since POV ended, since I've done a podcast.
You've done one with me, but I don't know. Was that during?
Have I?
I think you did one with me, but I don't think was that during POV or after POV. We did one on. What did we discuss? We discussed something. Someone in the chat's gonna remind me.
I don't remember. I don't feel like I've done a podcast since POV ended. I can't think of what I would have done other than this, but
did you do the Robert Downey Jr. one with me? Where we talked about RDJ? I think I'm pretty sure you did one with me. I just don't know which one it was.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Maybe. Anyway, look, it's been a while for you.
I know. I had to dust off literally the whole microphone, and I tried to use my desktop, and it was like, no.
Wait, so you haven't been? None of that has been touched since POV?
No, none of it.
Wait, so you don't use your desktop for anything, really?
Not really, because I'm too lazy to sit at a desk.
Gotcha.
When I have a laptop, so.
Gotcha.
And then I don't think I had these when we were podcasting.
No, those are the new Apple whatever, right?
Yeah, I've had them for a while, but we haven't. How long ago did POV? Are we at a year yet?
It'll be a year in May. Our last official show was in June when we did Happy Hour, but we ended the weekly show in May.
Okay. Yeah.
So it'll be a year in May, but officially a year in June, technically, because of the Happy Hour episode. So fair
enough. Feels like coming home, though. Like I I miss doing this. You were the first person I started it with, so it's like
You'll be on with everything coming. Brian, let's be honest. You're probably going to be on every MCU video we do here. So
okay, that's fun.
Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts. Like we have. I mean, Daredevil. I'm going to talk to you after the show because I've been telling the people that there's a possibility I do a live review show for Daredevil.
Oh,
and the invite. We'll see.
That show.
Don't even get me started.
I can't. It's wild to think how close it is. And you're watching Spidey, right?
Yeah, but I'm behind on Spider-Man because they drop the episodes so randomly and they drop a bunch of them.
Yeah, I'm a couple behind too.
The last episode I watched was the Daredevil episode. So,
see, I haven't even gotten to that.
That was the last episode I watched.
But I knew he was there.
I don't even know if I finished the episode.
That's fair.
I really like it. You would know my thoughts if you watched my TikTok, but that's okay.
I barely use social media as it is anymore.
Fine.
No, it's funny. Ever since POV, I kind of
I really don't use anything outside of TikTok. I upload everything to Instagram and YouTube, but I rarely ever use the actual apps.
Yeah,
I hardly ever use Twitter anymore. I hate the app. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm so far off of things that it's fine with me though.
But yeah,
I build Legos now.
We knew that. We knew that was going to become an obsession the second you got your first one. So
yeah, which was you guys' fault.
Sorry,
you guys.
Sorry, not sorry.
You guys started the disease.
Yeah,
I keep saving my pennies for Avengers Tower.
Oh God, good luck with that.
That's $600.
All right, let's jump into this because we do have a lot to talk about. I want to get. I don't want you to reveal too much. I kind of want it to be like an elevator, quick sentence pitch on your reaction to this film, like a 1 or 2 sentence thing of your reaction to Captain America: Brave New World. Actually, tell me this. Tell me your expectations quickly going into the film, and then tell me your thoughts exiting the film when you did see it.
Okay. Going into it, obviously it was hard not to hear. I mean, this movie's been dogged on for a while.
Yeah.
Like with reshoots and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I went into it very low expectations, but not because I thought it was going to be crap, just because I was just like, dude, like, and with all opinions, I've just come to the point where it's like, I'm going in with my, like, I'm not listening as much anymore. But when you hear the amount of constant negativity on it, it's hard to not go in. So like I went in with low expectations. Walking out of it, I text you because this is the first. Honestly, actually, now that I think about it, this
did
is the
you
first
text me immediately? So you got out at like 10:30 that night or something.
Yeah, I think I texted you pretty. I think I waited like an hour because I wasn't sure like your time. So I was just like, just to be safe, I'll wait till like later. Which now that I think about it, this is the first Marvel movie we haven't seen together in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said no to my invite, so
I did because I didn't think I was going to be able to go, which is shockingly enough. I know. Walking out of it, I think I literally text you. What did I text? It was like
you said like, I had a really fun time or something like that.
I said I said I actually enjoyed and was entertained by the movie. So yeah, walking out of it, I was like, dude, like the amount of dogpiling on this movie was not what we got, at least in my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I think, I mean, it's kind of been talked about all weekend long, and I'll just say quickly, and I'm a shameless plug, sure, but I did my review on TikTok, and it's one of my better videos. I was surprised that it's doing as good as it is, but 96% of the comments are all saying, I don't understand the critics. This movie was a lot of fun and good.
I agree. I 100% agree with it.
Yeah, it very much feels, and look, we'll get into our opinions and everything, but it very much feels like the new thing to do is to hate on the MCU because they've been going for so long, because we had things like the Infinity War and Endgame films. Everything is supposed to live up to those when they're not always going to be that good. There's just a lot of things that played to its factor. But as far as my reaction, I was very similar. Like, for a while now, I've been staying away from anything that regards critics, reactions, stuff like that. And I've always said that I trust the people I trust when it comes to early reactions to a movie. It's whoever I like to follow and whoever I like to listen to. So it's a very select few of people. With that said, I still didn't really take their opinions into account because I wanted to go in as fresh as I could, not just because it's a Marvel movie that was getting a lot of backlash before the film came out, but that's just kind of how I've been viewing a lot of movies in general these days. It feels like a very different time. And very similar to you, the film is not flawless. It has issues. I think they're the same for a lot of people, but I walked out very, very surprised. It exceeded my expectations. There was a lot of good and everything that it was supposed to do. This is the key that a lot of people are not talking about. Everything that it was supposed to do is regarding the universe, the setup, and everything going forward. It succeeded in doing so. Everything that's not included, and I know that shouldn't, like, that should be a key factor in movies. Like, it shouldn't just be that when it comes to movies, but when it comes to the MCU, that is the most important thing that we are looking at going forward. Like, how does this set up everything going forward? How does this connect to everything? And when we talk about that stuff, it did it perfectly, in my opinion.
I'm also along the lines of, like, you can make a Marvel movie just a story. Like, why can't you? I mean, they make comic books all the time that aren't connected. Like, we just want to tell a story. Like, it could be as simple as just like, we just want to introduce this one character and this is the story we're going to do. Like, I don't see why. Like, I think we are at the point now where people are just, they're so obsessed with the timeline. Honestly, they're so obsessed with finding flaws instead of just enjoying a movie. Like, I mean, I don't get, like, I've been so turned off by, like, just looking at even critics and stuff that I like I don't care anymore because it's just so it's not fun anymore. Like, the fun for me is going and seeing this movie and walking out being like, oh, I get to talk to someone about it. Like, that's the fun part. I don't give a crap anymore. Like, it's just become so negative that it's constantly, we're trying to find the flaws and dogpile it. And we know that negativity gets more clicks than positivity. I just, it's hard to even float in the space anymore. So, and honestly, that's a major reason why I don't do social media anymore too as much, because I mean, when a movie gets close, about 2 weeks out, I block all the words on everything because I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want spoilers. I don't want opinions. I want to make my own opinion. Agreed. And I think the people that do that are the ones that are having the most fun and enjoying certain things. You can not like something without just dog piling, saying MCU's over, blah 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 blah. You're allowed to do a bad movie here and there. You're allowed to have a bad TV show. It's not like they're gonna bat. We're in the 30s of MCU stuff.
Well, including everything, I think we're approaching 40.
Yeah, I mean,
but at the same time, like, they're not even bad.
No,
that's the crazy thing. It's like they're not even bad.
No, and so I'm sorry. when you do something 40 times, it's not going to be perfect every single time. And guess what? This movie, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it enjoyable? Yeah. I enjoyed it. I walked out of it going, that was pretty fun. In fact, I had an extra ticket and took my buddy who doesn't give a crap about MCU, just literally went for the good time. And he goes, that was pretty entertaining. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I mean, it's just, yeah. Sorry, that's
no. You're good. I think this is a comment I want to bring up because this is this seems 100% the case of what is going on right now. Dino Park Dan, thank you for being here. People think that if they don't immediately love it, they have to hate it. They can't be okay with something just being okay.
Yeah,
that is like the definition of the MCU ever since Endgame came out, and they haven't been perfect. They went through. It's called a sophomore slump in sports. They went through the sophomore slump when they changed phases, when they went through a whole new storyline after the Infinity Gauntlet ended and everything.
Yeah. And
but
God forbid that they're pivoting off of something that they have. This is not what they planned.
No.
They had to hard pivot. So God forbid they try to do something different while still making it work. That's the thing to me. I was literally talking to a buddy that I haven't talked to in almost 10, 15 years today. And he was like, I don't get why people are this isn't the plan. We had something entirely different down the pipeline. And you know what? They might, and this can be further of what we're talking about later. I feel like they're kind of just trying to get out of it as best as they can. And you know what? I guarantee you by the end of this, I mean, when Secret Wars happens and stuff, and obviously the mutant saga is going to be the next thing after that, and we tiptoe that, people are going to shut their mouth.
Bro, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the Fantastic Four will be the first thing.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Where people will start shutting their mouth. I will say though, you're talking about the hard pivot and trying to get through something. There's a lot of good in everything that has come from Endgame. There's a lot of good things, but I will say, to your point, I do think this is the first movie that is the pivot from everything that was happening. I think 2025 is and maybe some consider Deadpool and Wolverine the first pivot because it was so good. It was fresh. It was different. And now we're kind of in a new direction of everything. But there is stuff from the previous regime that is coming over into this film that, like you said, they kind of had to hope for the best, get through the rut of it.
Yeah.
And then they're moving on because you have things like Daredevil, which are coming, which looks like top tier MCU. You have things that Thunderbolts, which is looking better than it expected to. You have things like Fantastic Four, which people
were pooping on Thunderbolt before it even came out, or anything even came out. And then everyone saw the teaser and trailer and went, oh, this actually kind of looks good. And now everyone shuts up about it.
2025 is I said it last year, 2025 is 100% the return of everything. And whatever we want to talk about are the reactions, the ratings, the critics, whatever with Brave New World. The audiences love it. It's clear. Not everyone, but the audiences love it, which is the key factor in everything. Then you have Daredevil. Then you have Thunderbolts. Then you have Fantastic Four. You have Ironheart, Eyes of Wakanda. You have all these things coming out the rest of the year that look really, really good. And I don't know why my camera just glitched. It just got really dark all of a sudden. What the hell is happening?
Hard pivot.
Sorry, Kylo is about to lay in Bo's ball pit, which is amazing.
Oh, the bear.
He's never done this. Oh my god.
You know what?
Very hard pivot. I don't know what the hell my camera just did. Anyway,
light went out.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's happening. All right, look, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this film because there's a lot to discuss. I want to start with the obvious, and that is Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson. This is the biggest part of this film is how you transition Sam Wilson, the Falcon, to Sam Wilson, Captain America. And I know we had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We had the transition in that series of him going from Falcon to Captain America. But this is where we get to fully see him as this character. I don't know about you, Brian, but I am 1,000% sold on him being Captain America. This film did such a great job of showing his ability as the character of who he is, where he's a very extremely skilled fighter, not just in the suit, but out of the suit. He is extremely smart and intelligent when it comes to tactical plans and discussions and everything he does. He's very political as well. He's extremely good in the political light. Everything that Captain America needs to be in the day and age that we are in the MCU. And it's a very different climate than what Steve Rogers was as Captain America. As we know, the government, the military, they are trying to essentially hire Captain America as the lead, as the main guy, to be their face, but also not just in front of cameras, but on the ground. Steve Rogers didn't go through that because they had the Avengers. And people need to remember that the Sokovia Accord still exists, or at least they did, right? Superheroes are not allowed to be anything without the government.
I don't think it exists, but it's still like people were shaken up by it.
100%. 100%.
Right? Because I wasn't there something that said that it's over?
Well,
I could be imagining it.
No, in the film, it was the Wilson Ross Accords or something?
Yeah,
I forget the name that they used, but it was like the Ross Wilson or the Wilson Ross Accords, which was a new set of accords referring to superheroes.
Yeah,
but I don't think it like fully canceled out the Sokovia Accords. But the entire film, up until that point, the Sokovia Accords were a thing, and which distinguishes Sam Wilson's Captain America and Steve Rogers' Captain America. And as far as Sam Wilson's Captain America, I thought they nailed it on the head completely. Mm-hmm. Not just when it comes to action or how he is as a character, or like Anthony Mackie's presence on screen, but how he is inside the relationships he is creating with Joaquin Torres, obviously with Thaddeus Ross, and all of the other characters that he's meeting with. So much so that I am 1,000% on board with him being the official leader and re-wrangler of the Avengers when we do see that.
Yeah, I agree. I was pleasantly surprised with it. I don't want to say I was hesitant at first, but like I definitely was just kind of like more curious as like, okay, can he carry more? I was almost more like, can he carry his own movie?
Yeah, well, Anthony Mackie's never really been a leading man.
Exactly. And the only thing you can really reference is Twisted Metal, which I didn't watch, so I can't use time. Yeah, well, and they played a preview of it before the second season.
It's not the greatest thing ever, but if you love the Twisted Metal games, you're just going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't have anything really to go off of with him. But I mean, I thought he was great. I think the thing that you have to realize is he's not Steve Rogers. So, and he's not Chris Evans' Captain America. He is a different Captain America, be it style, be it
background,
how he handles things, how he goes about certain things. It's a different character.
People don't remember is that he's essentially a therapist. He was a therapist for war veterans.
There's a literal joke in the thing where he goes, "Don't therapize me," or whatever he said. "Don't counsel me." So it's a completely different character that you kind of, I would dare to say, you have to get used to. Like, I mean, it's almost like every time there's a new Batman, you kind of have to get used to a different style. It's like, what would happen if we did that, except they were in the same universe, like, and they still exist. So it's kind of like that whole thing. But like at the end of the day, every time you just kind of like just get over it and just keep going with it. Because at the end of the day, like, it's Batman. We like Batman. Same with this.
He feels like Batman in this a lot more than what you are saying as well.
Yeah.
Because, and we'll get into it, but the whole the soldier serum and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone, I see a lot of people, and we'll get into it, but I see a lot of people online having the conversation of how is he able to do what he's doing without having the soldier serum? Batman.
Yeah. I mean, he's able to do these things. So it's like once you get over the fact that he is a completely different person, but still holds the title, like you're like, okay, like I get it. Like and I mean, don't get me wrong, like Captain America's my personal favorite of Marvel. Yeah. So
I splurged, by the way, Brian.
I was wondering if you were gonna get something or not.
I almost got the popcorn bucket, but I was like, okay, it's gonna sit on a shelf in the garage because Gabby's not gonna allow it in the house. So what's
100%.
I almost bought the helmet.
They had a bunch of different ones, and I was just like, no, don't do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a different character. It's a different character with the same title. So like, if you can just get past that, who cares? Like it, and like I said, I love his like smartass humor.
Me too.
I love it. And that's the opposite of Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers was very noble, well-spoken, diplomatic. Sam Wilson's gonna just like talk.
He shoots from the hip.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's just a simple like way that you can see the difference between them. So yeah, I enjoy his Captain America, and to be honest, we haven't really seen him interact. Well, we haven't seen him interact with very many people as Captain America outside of Bucky and U.S. Agent, and
that's it.
That's pretty much it.
Well, Joaquin Torres, but I mean, they come hand in hand now. So, but you're talking about the Avengers characters.
Yeah. So like people are already like, no, there's no way he can lead the Avengers. Blah blah blah. I'm like, he's interacted with like 2 people. Like
honestly, like. So and maybe we should get into this now because it's a better, I guess, leading from Sam Wilson to him, because I agree with everything you're saying. I think the way that they have built out Sam Wilson since his debut in The Winter Soldier, and the moments that we have seen him with Steve Rogers, because remember he was essentially to Steve Rogers what Joaquin Torres is now to him.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it's funny. I didn't think about it till really today. He's been around for a long time.
He's been around for over 10 years now.
He's
a long time. Over 10 years. He was in 2 Captain America movies, and he was in 2 Avengers films.
I mean, think about how long ago Winter Soldier was. That was a while.
2014, 11 years.
Yeah. So, like, in this timeline and real life, he's been around. He's not an OG, but he's one of the ones that's close as you could be.
He would be considered an OG for the original Avengers lineup, technically, of the Infinity Saga characters, because there's not very many of those people left. Yeah, and there's not very many of those people who are going to be included going forward into the Avengers movies that we're going to be seeing. So yeah,
outside of the original 6, like he's like the next up.
Well, he was on the second Avengers lineup alongside. He was Cap's first pick, Cap and Black Widow's first pick.
Yeah.
In the Age of Ultron Avengers squad. It was him and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. So I mean, he has been around a while, and so I kind of enjoy that. Like, it feels like he's new, but he's been around the block. Like, he's been here for a while. So yeah, I don't know. It's just me.
No, I agree with you. I think I just love the way that they've laid out the character. I love the way that Anthony Mackie plays the character.
I love how he does. Like,
he's so good. He is so good in the moments that they put him in. And he really has all the range to be super serious and intimidating, while also very comedic. And then, like
his
you said,
timing is perfect.
Extremely smart. I mean, look, when you're able to play opposite someone like Harrison Ford in the moments that they were having, that's very, very strong, and proof that you shouldn't really need that he is great in this role and capable of a lot more than you expect him to. Yeah, I think he's a perfect choice to kind of be like, because let's be honest, like 5 years ago, if we were looking back 5 years ago and then fast forwarding to now, it was going to be Black Panther in the situation that Anthony Mackie is now in.
Oh, 100%.
Where Black Panther would have been the one probably wrangling the Avengers alongside Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, etc.
100%. Again, another major
now
curveball.
It goes to Anthony Mackie, and in my mind, like, people are going to have this conversation of, okay, is he capable of not only bringing the Avengers together, but should he lead them? To me, there's nobody else that I can think of that is going to be on the Avengers roster because of one reason: his tactical presence. I know a lot of people,
who else is going to actually do like.
Well, I was going to say a lot of people are going to go to someone like Doctor Strange because of his power, because he's been around. Stephen Strange is an individual asshole who is extremely selfish.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie is about the greater good, and that is exactly what you need as the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's why Steve Rogers led over Tony Stark. That's why Steve Rogers led over Tony Stark, is because of that exact reason.
Yeah. Doctor Strange is not – he's almost in a way like your brute in a way, just because he's so strong. Like, he is the power. I mean, there's a reason they sidelined him in Endgame. So, I mean, like –
he's going to be on the team, but he's off with Clea dealing with incursions right now.
Yeah, there's two, like, he's almost too powerful to be the leader. And then who else is left? Captain Marvel? Not really. I mean, you're going to throw Spider-Man out there? No one knows who he is right now. So it's like, there's just certain things where it's like, can
you hear my alarm going off?
Yeah.
I don't know what that alarm is for.
The last time is when your lights went out, when that went off.
I don't know what that alarm is for. I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, no, I mean, I could, after this, like, I can see it. Just because, honestly, the thing that brought me into it most is, honestly, I came out of it loving Falcon.
Me too.
I
think Joaquin Torres has such a bright, and Danny Ramirez is fantastic.
Like, honestly, I'm dare to say it, I enjoyed his performance more than Harrison Ford's. Like, I
like their relationship. I don't think he works without Sam Wilson.
Oh no, absolutely not. No,
their relationship together, because he's in a way kind of what Spider-Man was when he first entered. He's like the young gunslinger who's super excited to be there, and he gets into trouble very, very fast.
Mm-hmm.
But his ability and learning from Sam Wilson, who, like you said, who's been around a lot longer than people realize, who came from an extremely long military background. He fought alongside Steve Rogers for years. He fought alongside the Avengers. He did all of these things. And now he's learning from that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited about his future. And I don't see an Avengers team without both of them.
Oh, absolutely not. He's going to be his right-hand man, like, easily. Like, I don't want to go as far as saying, like, he's going to be his Iron Man, where it's just, like, that symbiotic, like, they play off of each other. But, like, in a way, they kind of are. Like, he's going to 100% be like, go do this. I need you to do this. And it's going to be something important, and you can trust him in doing it.
They won't trust. It'll be, so Sam trusts two people in the world. It'll be Bucky and Joaquin Torres.
100%. And I think that works perfectly because, I mean, I'll be honest, like, at first before this, like, I was kind of like, do we really immediately need another?
I was so excited for
it. No, me too. I was excited to see it. But like when I went into it, I was kind of like, okay, like, we need to establish Captain America. Like, I don't know if, like, we need Falcon, like, right there so quickly, where it's like, I didn't want it to become like Batman and Robin, where it's just like, they're kind of like have to be associated with each other. Walking out of it, I didn't give a crap.
No,
like it was.
I never felt that at all.
No, not one bit. Like, I was just like, okay, they're perfect together. when they're flying, like
It's so good.
It's
so.
It
Let's
was-
talk about the action sequences because the aerial.
okay. So
sequences-
this is potentially where I had a problem. I will say. but
Really?
Continue.
Okay,
No,
so
I'll explain.
the aerial fighting that we got in the film, and I'll just kind of isolate it at Tiamat Island because that's where we got the most of it. Where we saw USA versus Japan, we saw the leader brainwashing the two fighter pilots, and Sam and Joaquin have to go into the air and essentially divert every possible situation that is thrown their way and try to save a war from happening.
Yeah,
the aerial combat was just like
that was incredible. That
and coming from someone who loves like high speed action for myself, when I love stuff like Top Gun because it's the aerial combat with fighter pilots, or
it was very similar in the
the stuff like with like cars, like we're gonna get an F1 later this year, or that we're gonna see in stuff like we saw like Tron, like everything that's on the ground with cars, high octane action. It felt like that. We're seeing such high speed, quick maneuvers happening. That moment where he's riding the fucking rocket was unbelievable. Just like everything that is taking place, like when Red Wing took the shield and blocked the missile from Cap, like just all of the creativity was unreal with them flying. And again, it shows the ability of how strong Sam Wilson is, as well as Joaquin Torres, because of the tactical experience they have as military leaders and these suits that they have that are so incredible that they are able to do things like they did in this film. It's just, I was blown away with how actually, like, I knew it was going to be good because we've seen Falcon in the air before. Like, we've seen it.
Yeah. It was literal dogfighting.
But this was steps above everything else we have seen in his 11 years in the MCU. It was by far the best we have ever seen Sam Wilson with the wings on.
Oh, by a million. Like, it was that I would love, right, Andy? I would love to just go to the movie theater in 4DX and just do that scene. Like, can you imagine like the seats? Like,
oh, you mean the D-box,
or D-box? Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yes, D-box.
That'd be wild,
right? I mean, it was done so well. Like, to me, it almost. Well, I don't even know if I'd say almost upstaged like the Red Hulk battle. Like, it was just.
I like this more than the Red Hulk battle.
I think I do too, because it was just so well done and just like it was like dogfighting, but you have to realize it's like two people that aren't in jets going against two people that are in jets. So it's like
on top of warships.
Yeah,
firing weapons,
and they're flying around Tiamat like just like dogfighting, and like it was dope. And I don't think I either realized or like knew that specifically was going to happen. Like they kind of like showed like that there would be like ships around the island, but like not necessarily like a giant, like a fight scene was going to break out.
So I only saw one trailer, and from what I remember, I don't think it was like a full trailer or anything. They made it seem like him flying around Tiamat was going to be like the main fight, like the main final battle, but it obviously wasn't because of Red Hulk. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like a full on like war fight, like pre-war fight of the world essentially ending, because we didn't really know how they were going to handle the whole adamantium thing. But how they handled it with, and we can get into, I don't know what your issue was, because you mentioned something that you might have had a problem with.
Okay.
I didn't mind the whole backstory of there's this coalition of countries trying to figure out a way
peacefully
to peacefully basically share adamantium. But of course, being America and because we suck, we can't figure that out.
Dude, it's so funny. Me and my buddy were laughing. We were like, this is the first time where we've ever like not had like Russia or China be like the bad guys. So like there were so many jabs at like Japan that I was just like, dang, we're like really going after, like they destroyed, or they started like the US guys like started like kamikazing, and I'm like, okay. And then they just happened to go, which I mean, obviously, because they kept saying he wanted to go to the cherry blossoms and stuff. But then like if you don't know American history, we only have in Washington, D.C., the cherry blossoms because the Japanese government gifted us cherry blossoms.
Yep.
So like seeing Hulk basically just wreck all the cherry blossoms. So we were just laughing because it's like, oh, this is different. Like seeing the US like go after like a friend country in the real world. But like it also kind of like made it cool because you didn't really like, I mean, they were supposed to be like allies, but like things were happening that like, what are you going to do if your ally starts stepping out of line? So I kind of enjoyed that aspect.
All right, I want to hear your question or your negativity or the thing that you had an issue with. What were you going to?
So honestly, the only real thing that I kind of had a hard time with is, and I don't know if it's him or the way that it was just done. I kind of had a hard time with Anthony Mackie's hand-to-hand combat.
Really?
There were a couple times, especially in the beginning. I would probably say, especially in the beginning, when he was fighting Copperhead, like in the church and whatnot, where it looked very like rehearsed, like it choreographed. Like it wasn't as fluid as I would have kind of hoped for. Like it was a little bit clunky for me.
Probably an editing thing.
Probably. And that's why I'm not like dog piling on it. Like I don't want to say like, oh yeah, there. But there were certain times where I felt like it was just like literally like 1, 2, 3 fight punch, but like where it was just kind of like that. Whereas like, and this just might be a Chris Evans thing. I don't want to say it's a Steve Rogers type thing. Whereas Chris Evans always just kind of like it flowed. Whereas it almost seemed like Anthony Mackie was having almost kind of just a little bit of trouble, like just kind of like getting the flow down. Like he nails like anything like flying or stuff like that, but it was kind of more the really up close hand-to-hand combat that I was just kind of finding a little clunky. Clunky is the best word I can describe it. But again, I don't want to like, it wasn't enough to bother me that like I walked out of it going like, oh my God. Like it just, there were a couple times where it was just kind of very much, it seemed like punch, block, punch, duck, like almost just very
like Cobra Kai. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. So that, but honestly, that was like the only real, like, I don't even want to say problem. The only thing where I was during the movie going, like, other than that, like, and like I said, it was honestly mostly the beginning, because when he fought Sidewinder, I had no issue during
it. The scene was so great.
It was
so important to the character of Sam Wilson.
Yes.
It shows how capable he is without the wings.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't want to, I don't feel like it's a completely fair to use this same argument with Red Hulk, because he's a literal CGI thing. So it's kind of like, I mean, you're fighting nothing. So like, for me, it was just like that opening one against Copperhead, where it was just like, But then again, it could also be because they were a freaking mismatched size difference. Like the dude was fucking huge.
There's a lot of factors. It could have been editing. We know that.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's true, the whole reshoots conspiracy, I'll say, is how much was actually reshot, how much was re-edited in.
Yeah.
Andy did agree with you, but I do like what he said, is that again, it shows the difference between Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson.
100%.
Sam Wilson, even though he's a military guy, military guys aren't like trained in boxing. And specifically Sam was trained in aerial combat. He flew with his wings with wingman Riley. So hand-to-hand combat on the ground could be relatively new to him, or at least just not as much as experienced as someone like Steve Rogers, who literally was punching Nazis from day one.
That's like,
like
MO.
Like, it's just Sam Wilson has spent his time in the sky, and
that's why I think that it might have just been the fact that Copperhead was just big, because I had zero problem with him when he fought Sidewinder. Like, it was, and I mean, Sidewinder was just kind of
maybe it was because he was in the suit.
Oh yeah, that could be
the
true.
Suit with the whole get up on. I mean,
that's true.
It's a much clunkier, thicker, bigger suit than Steve Rogers ever wore.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. But like, again, was it enough to like bother me? No. Like, it was just kind of like during it, I was just like,
Let's hold on to that and try to keep this in mind and pay attention to this when the Russos direct Sam Wilson, Captain America in the Avengers films, and see what kind of the action it looks like with them, because it could also be a director's thing. It's nothing against the director, but it could also be the style of the camera work, anything. And I'm very curious how it will compare from the Russos to the director of Brave New World.
I mean, and it could also be even, I mean, that's why it's like not fair to use, but like it could also even be the guy that played Copperhead. Like maybe Anthony Mackie was the one that was super fluid and stuff, and he was having trouble with the other guy. Like maybe the other guy was the one that was kind of making it more. So you just can't like immediately, at least for me, I'm not the type of person that immediately is going to just be like, he can't do this because it looked like that. I don't, it wasn't enough to bother me. But whatever.
I agree.
I mean, it wasn't, I immediately go to like Return of the Jedi where Luke kicks the air of nothing. Like, it wasn't like that. It was just there's
50 years, Brian. There's 50 years or 40 years or whatever.
Exactly. So whatever. But that was the one thing that I was just kind of like, maybe. But yeah, I'm very curious to see different director, different this, that, how different it could be. And like you said, we have known him more as a guy that comes with wings, and that was just grappling, straight fighting on the ground. A ginormous guy versus a regular size guy. So
all right, so there's two major things that we have to get to. I know that we all want to talk about Red Hulk, but I'm going to save him because I'm trying to segue everything from our conversations, and we were just talking about Tiamat Island, and this is the biggest part of the film. This is what everything kind of is relating to. It's the whole center point of the entire story. We obviously know from the Eternals, the ending of the Eternals, the Celestial tried to enter Earth and destroy Earth and become one. And born, another Celestial was going to be born. Obviously, the Eternals stopped it. And since then, we have not had any mention of Tiamat. And they have now mentioned it. So all of you guys can shut up about it.
Justice for Eternals.
Yeah, Justice for Eternals. I agree with you. But look, we have
I will say, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't know if you've noticed, I've slowly been starting to see a lot more people say like,
it gets better every time you watch it.
I think sooner rather than later, people are.
That's another Brave New World.
Yes,
they're in the same exact category.
Yeah, the Eternals to me was always going to be one that got better with age, and I feel like it's riding that wave. And the fact that it left people wanting to know more about Tiamat and stuff like that. So getting this, people were kind of
100% getting an Eternals 2 after the Avengers films.
You're
maybe in between because they could be involved, but we'll see. Look, we got the final confirmation, the reveal, the bringing in of adamantium into the MCU.
We officially
It's a brilliant. It's probably one of the most brilliant things they
idea.
have ever done in the entire universe. We now know that the Celestials are made of adamantium, the richest metal in the entire universe. It is stronger than vibranium. It is what we have all been waiting for, because we know that the X-Men are coming, and adamantium is obviously so extremely important to one specific character, but a lot of them. Also, Brian, I don't know if you know this, but it was confirmed that Copperhead's knives were adamantium.
I saw that today, and
very interesting.
It's funny. I saw someone retweet it and goes, "Okay, who cares?"
Right? Like, why did you need to say that? Like, yeah.
It just made me laugh because I was like, yeah, honestly, in that case, like, who
honestly, who does care? Like, really?
Yeah, it made me laugh.
But look, we have adamantium. We obviously know what is coming with adamantium. This is going to play a big part into the future of the MCU. Did you we just mentioned it, but how did you feel about the whole idea, like everything that was talked about of them fighting over it or trying to get a treaty over it, how it's now...
It's already, like, out.
Yes.
Like,
it's already out there. Like, everyone now knows that adamantium is the thing. And now we know that whatever does happen with the X-Men when they officially come in, if Wolverine exists or doesn't exist, whoever creates him, and I forget the name of the character. Do you know the name of the character? It's
William Stryker.
Stryker is essentially extracting the adamantium from Tiamat to create the Weapon X program. Yeah. Which is so extremely cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually try to use that as the Sentinels.
Oh, I think that would be the case for sure. For sure. I bet you the Sentinels will look similar to the Celestials.
Probably. I mean, they already do. Yeah, they already do kind of resemble them in a way. I'm literally looking at my Arishem giant Funko Pop, and they like legitly kind of almost have that.
I think the Sentinels in the future will 100% look similar to the Celestials because of Tiamat.
Yeah.
Riker's going to become like obsessed with it. There's a storyline. He's going to become... What if... Ooh!
I missed this between you and I.
What if Stryker... Doesn't Stryker have an island? What if Stryker Island's on Tiamat Island?
Yeah, I don't know if he has an island. I know he's in like Siberia. Like it's like...
What if Siberia becomes Tiamat Island?
Yeah. I mean,
the Indian Ocean.
He could easily... I mean, they could easily...
There's a giant hand that he can use as his home base.
Yeah, I mean, they could easily just be like, hey, like, he took over a random island called Genosha, and then eventually did all these things, and then like finally got rid of it, and they can make it like the X-Men's home area. Like it's endless. It is absolutely genius, genius how they brought adamantium into it.
Yeah,
because for the long,
this was always the plan.
Honestly, kinda.
I think it was always the plan as well, but nobody's ever going to believe that.
No. And to be fair, like we for a long time, we've been wondering like how would they bring this in, especially with the amount of emphasis they put on vibranium being like this big deal. It's like, how do you one up the greatest thing that there is? You put it in the body of a alien that created the galaxy, essentially. Like it's I don't know how you get like bigger than that as far as like the importance of like outside of Tiamat, they ain't getting it anywhere else.
No.
Like it's not like something that, oh, we could just mine it and like, no, it is in this alien. That is it. So it gives it a certain level of importance that like vibranium, they can just, we thought it was only the comet that hit Wakanda. Namor said, no, like, look, it's underwater and stuff. So like you can find it in different spots. Adamantium is in Tiamat, and that is it. And like, it's also not specifically being cut off to like Wakanda, where it's just vibranium. Like this is making its way around the world. And if Copperhead already has those knives, like Serpent Society's already got it before like we've even established like a treaty. Like it's going to be a huge factor at some point. Like, it's going to be a problem for people at some point, because I know I saw a lot of people going like, oh, well, introducing adamantium poops on vibranium. Blah, blah. No, it doesn't. Vibranium does a whole different thing.
Look what Sam Wilson's wings were doing.
Yeah. And so
that was so
like
cool, by the way.
Genius.
So cool. Because I forgot that was a thing. I forgot that he was gifted it by the Wakandans. And then at the first scene where he's flying and he lands and then they just explode. I was like, whoa!
I loved his wait for it.
Yes.
And then just the sound wave. Like, it was genius. But like the main thing people were saying that I saw was like, vibranium now is like weak. And I'm like, no, it's not. It always has been like or they said, how are you going to introduce another indestructible thing? Vibranium was never indestructible. Thanos' sword smashed the crap out of Cap's shield. Like, it was never invincible. It has different properties that allows it to do stuff than adamantium. Adamantium is going to be the problem.
And it's indestructible.
Like, yeah. And
that's
that one
indestructible metal.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's genius if, like, we have given Kevin Feige the idea of putting that in Sentinels. Like, that would be a huge problem for down the line. So genius idea of introducing it inside a Celestial. Never in a million years would anyone have guessed that. And it just works. It works. And that's why I think it's just one of the best things. And I think it's going to be underlooked until later down the line.
Well, it makes what happens in Eternals and the reveal of Tiamat extremely important. Like, it wasn't just to create a cool ending for the film of a Celestial is now sticking out of Earth and everyone knows about the Eternals and these beings called the Celestials, etc., etc. It now makes it very, very relevant to the MCU. And
100%.
One of the most, I can't find another better word, but one of the most important parts of this whole phase. Like, Absolutely. It's going to create so many different storylines and threads that we can, and not just the X-Men, but so many other things. Like we saw, like Serpent Society, Giancarlo Esposito's character in Copperhead, and they were, whether it was them directly or they were getting the metal from someone else, they were clearly getting adamantium for weapons. Yeah. And they are not the only ones that are going to be doing that.
100%. And Serpent Society is going to become Hydra. That level where they're the nuisance.
By the way, do you think is he dead? Giancarlo Esposito?
No.
They never really confirmed it.
There is no way. Well, because he answered his questions and was like, "I'll help your parole if you answer the questions."
Oh, that's right. We did see him. I forgot that we saw him.
And then he was like, "Well,
that's right."
He's like, "I'll see me get out of prison." Basically,
that's right. I forgot we saw him after the fight. For some reason in my head, I thought the last time we saw him was sitting on the car. And I was like, "Oh, is he dead?" Okay, yeah.
No,
right.
There's no way that guy takes that role for a one-off. There's not when people were calling for him to be Magneto. There's no chance he's like, they clearly have an idea of what to with Serpent Society that like, because I remember seeing an article a long time ago being like him saying, I hope he gets his powers and stuff like that. Like, even if he doesn't get powers, like, give him technology that he's like a problem. Like, because one of the things that in comics that is there is like, there are organizations that are nuisances. You have Hydra, you have AIM. Why not? And it is kind of dorky in the MCU to have a giant society of villains that happen to all be snake-like. Like, it's kind of a little dorky. So why not make them like an AIM, like a Hydra, where like instead of each one having powers, each one of those main people, like Copperhead, Sidewinder, whoever, be like a head of a thing. Like Sidewinder's clearly going to be the Red Skull, and then he's going to have each one of those famous characters, Razorback, whoever, can be like a general in his army, essentially. So, and though in each one can have, I don't know, like an adamantium type thing that makes them what they are. So, like, I think, like, I know a lot of people were really upset that, what's his name? Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, the wrestlers, and there was a woman one too, got cut from the movie. I truly believe that we'll probably see them again in a role like a TV show where they're kind of like a nuisance type person, where it's like, I think of like Hawkeye, where it's like kind of like, what were those? I forget, the like delivery van people, like that type of thing, where it's like,
it was like Brothers Delivery or something.
Yeah, something.
The tracksuit gang.
Yeah, the tracksuit gang, where it's almost like that. So I like what they decided to do. I think it was, if they do it correctly, a smart pivot. I mean, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish.
Oh no, because I was just gonna say, because I think you can't introduce Giancarlo Esposito as just like a side villain. Like, that would be the dumbest thing, to waste an actor of that caliber as a side villain. And he like wasn't even he was like the side villain, because you had Red Hulk and the leader and then him. So I don't know. That's just me.
Everything that I was researching as you were talking, everything that you were saying, I immediately went to Spectre in the Daniel Craig James Bond films.
That is a beautiful example.
How each of the villains in his movies were all ahead of this organization.
Yes.
And they all connected over the 5 movies that we saw, and they were all a piece of Spectre.
Yes.
I was like trying to deep dive and find the name. I couldn't remember what the name was, and I finally found it. But yeah, like it very much
a perfect example.
Like they just continue to grow and grow and grow, and then eventually we find out that it's this giant organization where all of these people are involved.
Like, I would not be surprised if at some point you see Kingpin interacting with them. Like, just like employing, like, Kingpin needs someone, contact Sidewinder. He uses so-and-so as like the leader of a problem. Like, I could see like that. Like, it's an endless possibility for something that in the comics is kind of silly. Like, it's, if you literally see a picture of them, like, it's just all these different weird looking snake people. It would have been harder to take serious.
No, I'm glad they don't go that route. Please don't go that route.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears. We've been here an hour so far, and we need to talk about the second biggest part, or possibly to some people, the biggest part of this film. Harrison Ford's introduction into the MCU as a former character, R.I.P. William Hurt, in his time as Thaddeus Ross in the MCU, was one of the very first characters we ever met in this entire universe.
Literally.
He came back a number of years later and was in a couple of films down the line that was heavily involved in the Sokovia Accords. And Harrison Ford has taken over the character of Thaddeus Ross, and we get to see him go full-fledged Red Hulk in this movie. And I know a lot of people are complaining about the screen time. A lot of people are complaining the fact that it's an Incredible Hulk sequel with Incredible Hulk villains, but there's no actual Hulk in it. I don't care about any of that. I think that the time spent with Red Hulk was perfect in my mind, because it's not going to be the last time we see him.
They left him alive for a reason.
And there is a reason why Harrison Ford played this character as Thaddeus Ross as much as he did, because the movie wasn't about Red Hulk. It was about the fall from grace of a character. Even though Thaddeus Ross was never the best of characters, the fall from grace of the President of the United States into madness of all of his past sins, who eventually became the monster that he had been trying to hunt down for years. It wasn't about him trying to...
It was about Thaddeus Ross, not the Red Hulk.
Yeah, like it wasn't about him trying to become this character and try to capture the power that Bruce Banner had. As we learn in the film, the leader basically sabotaged him for years, was poisoning him, growing gamma in his blood without him knowing. And what a great way to bring that film, that story back around almost 20 years
like
later.
Well, he said in the movie, I've kept you in that bunker for 17 years. And I think that's
Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact amount of time. And I was like,
very, very cool tie-in. But look, I not only loved how they handled Thaddeus Ross and his presidency and the decisions he was making and the eventual turn of the Red Hulk, but I thought Harrison Ford was really, really good. You can tell that he wasn't only having an absolute blast doing this film because it's so different from a lot of the movies he's done in the past, but that he was fully invested in the character that he was playing.
Let's be honest, man loves playing president.
100%. But this is the first time he's played a very terrible bad president.
Yeah, that's true.
And his scenes with Sam Wilson were great. The only gripe I will say about the character is that the constant mentioning of Betty was a little overboard.
That's fair.
They kept bringing the whole Betty thing up, which I understand, and then eventually it came back around when Sam talked Red Hulk down. But the constant mentioning of her was a little bit overbearing. But outside of that, I was very, very happy with Thaddeus Ross and Red Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, this was to me as good as you can get when an actor passes away and someone has to take over a role.
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's nothing you can do about it. And we're at that point where this has happened one or two times when an actor does pass away. Like, I would have loved to see the original actor playing
William Hurt.
Yeah. This character. Like, I mean, it would have been, who's to say he wouldn't have, maybe he would have died at the end of it and been like, it would have been a full character arc. Because like you said, there were a lot, rightfully so. When you think about it, there was a lot of people that have been around for a very long time character-wise in the MCU. And Thaddeus Ross is one of them. And the amount of times we've seen him pop in and out of different movies. I mean, he was arguably one of the main antagonists of Civil War that created something that is still a problem in the MCU. Years and years down the line from when it happened. But for Harrison Ford, I mean, you know what you're getting with Harrison Ford. Like, they didn't grab him because they were like, well, who's available? Well, I guess we'll grab Harrison Ford. Like, there's a reason. And I think that in a way, it worked in his favor that he wasn't Red Hulk as much. Like, I think him getting to play Thaddeus Ross more kind of worked out.
Like, it would have been different if William Hurt passed after this film and then Harrison Ford got casted.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. In a way, like, he kind of got to play his own character. Like, it's almost like kind of like when you get a script and maybe it's like a movie that's based off of a book that's and the movie's taking place after the book already established something. Like, he kind of got to come into it already like, hey, this is kind of where you're going to pull inspiration from. Because there's no way that Harrison Ford went back and watched all the stuff that William Hurt did. There's no way. But you can easily break down and be like, this is what has been happening. This is what he's done. Here's what he's leading into. And I think Harrison Ford did that, and he got to do that. And I think it played out well. I did not have a problem with the amount of Red Hulk in it. To be honest, maybe I'm in the minority. I think it was a perfect amount of Red Hulk because at the end of the day, it wasn't about Red Hulk. Like, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, was it marketed a little bit like it was Red Hulk versus Captain America?
I don't think they had a choice.
Yes. I mean, there's no way you can make this movie and not get away with like it being like, I don't know if Red Hulk's gonna appear. There's no way. There's like sometimes like you're like, well, why'd they spoil it? There's no way you're making it through this movie hiding Red Hulk. So for what they did, because like I said, it wasn't about Red Hulk. That I think it worked flawlessly. And honestly, there's legalities of probably why they couldn't use Hulk and whatnot. But again, it wasn't about Red Hulk and it wasn't about Hulk. So I don't understand why so many people are so focused on like Red Hulk. This is a Hulk movie. No, it wasn't. Red Hulk was purposely only in it for the last not even 20 minutes.
I think his screen time was like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah. So I mean,
if that,
I don't get the like. I get it, obviously, and I'll be honest. This probably was my favorite use of a Hulk. Like, it looked really good. He immediately thunderclapped that ass of the White House. Like, he knew what he was doing. Like, it was.
Well, he has studied Bruce Banner for years.
Exactly. So I don't have a problem with everyone else is saying like it's a Hulk sequel, blah blah blah. No, it wasn't. Like, yes, it was a Hulk sequel, as in like they pulled so many things from it, like the leader, like the Gamma, like Thaddeus Ross, like Betty Ross, like all that stuff. Yes. But we weren't focused on Bruce Banner. So why would we need Hulk in this? Mm-hmm. I think it would have. I don't want this story as the Hulk doing it.
There's not a world where you have Thaddeus Ross as the president and the Hulk is the hero of that story. No. You have to have someone who's involved with the military or politics, and that's currently Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know a lot of people are up in arms, especially about the lack of Red Hulk. I mean, you had 3 villains in this movie. Mm-hmm. 3. Red Hulk, Leader, Sidewinder. So, like, what did you expect? Like, I don't know. That's just me. I enjoyed it. I thought he was in a good amount. And like you said, I would be shocked if they don't use Red Hulk again in some capacity.
Well, we're not going to get too much into it, but because my For You page changes once I start watching something or talking about something, apparently the raft is an extremely important part in Secret Wars. So apparently it goes into space and it's a safe haven for worlds. So we'll I'm not going to dive too much into that, but let's just say everyone in the raft could very well be a major player.
I mean, every Secret Wars, every single person has at least a 1% chance of appearing. Like,
so you're going to see Harrison Ford for sure is going to come back at some point.
Can you imagine? I just want to see like them go to Harrison Ford and be like, "All right, we need you to do this with all these other superheroes because of this," and he's just gonna be like, "What? Like, I don't care." Like yeah. So, and even if you don't,
that's like back in Infinity War and Endgame when everyone was talking about Hank Pym joining the fight. Like, no, Michael Douglas is not going to do that. Sorry.
No. Yeah. No.
All right, let's switch gears from Red Hulk to the other villain who manipulated Red Hulk. Let's talk about the leader, the main villain of the film. Mm-hmm. Revealed to be in prison for the last 16, 17 years and growing exponentially in intelligence and experimenting not just on himself, but a number of other people. there's obviously some things I didn't care for too much with the character, but I think overall, I think he was a fine villain. I thought what he was doing made sense. I thought it fit with the story that we were being told.
And is he a villain in a way?
Well, I mean, he was trying to kill a president, but
because
I know, but he shouldn't be doing it the way he's doing it.
It's kind of because
he is taking over people's bodies.
Yes, in that aspect, yes.
And mind control, and that's not the best way of doing things. And he was killing people technically. So
does he killed poor Demolition Man.
I know he killed Demolition Man, which as people are in outrage about that as well. But like, not every character can get justice, guys. Get over it. I thought the leader was a fine enough villain to be revealed as the main villain of the story, the one who's manipulating everything, the one who is mind controlling everything. We'll see him again. For those who 100%. Don't know, I think we will. I mean, he's in the raft, so we'll see.
100%. There's a reason they kept. When was the last time we got 3 villains and all of them lived at the end of the movie?
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
If ever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's 2 villains and at least one of them gets killed.
Yeah, you're right. I think I'm interested in what his role is in the future. So if you guys don't know the leader, just a very, very small, quick breakdown. He essentially is one of, if not the most intelligent being on planet Earth. He knows statistics. He knows probabilities. As you can tell by the post-credit scene, he can see futures. He can see futures very, very directly.
I hated the post-credit scene.
I hate the post-credit scene too. But
I walked out angry.
I hated the post-credit scene too. But for those who don't know, it is important that don't know the leader. He is, and I know that we're having the conversation of like, okay, well, why did we need to be told that when we already know?
For the 5th time.
Not everybody is us, though. We have to keep that in mind. Not everybody is us. And we haven't talked about multiverse stuff since Multiverse of Madness. That was almost 2 years ago. So we have to keep in mind that not everybody is us who are living and breathing the theories and the ideas and the projects. Some people aren't watching the TV shows. Some people may not have seen Multiverse of Madness. They have to be able – they have to play to the average audience and not just the audience that is obsessed with them.
But how many more times are we going to need this?
I think this is the only one. Would I have rather seen?
Fantastic Four is for sure going to do it.
Would I have rather seen Sam Wilson show up to Wakanda with Shuri and ask for a suit and ask her to join the Avengers? Absolutely. But this is the scene we got. I would have rather have seen him attempt to recruit someone. Absolutely. But they have, like, we talked about it earlier. This is kind of a reset. It feels like we're switching gears a little bit. And this can kind of be like the beginning of, okay.
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when it's like the Marvels did it.
Did the Marvels really do it though? What was that post-credit
scene? They're in a different world. Right? It's Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that post-credit scene, he never talked about like they're coming or of the others or like, they never said that. She was just in a different universe.
Yeah. I wish I would have thought about writing down like which ones. But like,
well, there's only 2. I think there's only the 2. There's the Multiverse of Madness one, and there was the Marvel.
Was Multiverse of Madness though? I don't think
it was the Clea one where they go into the universe.
Yeah, but she was talking about dimensions colliding, I think.
Well, no, she was talking about incursions. She said the word.
So that's one.
And then the Marvels. And that's it. Am I forgetting? I don't think I'm forgetting.
I'm thinking TV. Did Secret Wars do anything?
I honestly don't remember. I wiped that.
Or Secret Invasion, excuse me.
I wiped that from my brain.
I know. So did I.
What other TVs? Loki didn't do one. Moon Knight didn't. What?
Ant-Man kind of count. I guess you kind of have to steer away from Kang.
Well, the Ant-Man one was what? Him eating with Baskin Robbins and then hearing voices or something, right? Or he had a dream or something? Wasn't that the post-credit scene?
I don't remember.
I think he had like a dream.
It was the Council of Kangs.
Oh, that's what it was. By the way, Brian, how excited are you to see Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom destroy King? I think he's going to kill him and kill him bad.
I
Do you think they're going to use Kang?
No.
I don't think they're going to use him either. I think he's going to be killed.
Can I be honest?
Okay.
I'm still not sold on Doctor Doom.
What do you mean not sold?
Like, I still kind of hate the idea of Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom.
Why?
I think Doctor Doom should be I feel like being Robert Downey Jr. puts limitations on it.
Well, we don't know why he's Robert Downey Jr. though.
I don't know.
They said that in the movie it will be explained why he looks like Tony Stark.
I'm sure. I know. I just kind of want.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to have seen Cillian Murphy play Doctor Doom. Don't get me wrong. But
I don't know a single person that doesn't go like Cillian Murphy should be Doctor Doom.
Hey, he was perfect for the role. But I think it's warranted when variants exist.
Yeah. I mean, and I've heard whispers that he's literally just going to be used for Doomsday and Secret Wars, and then it's going to be something else. But
I think there's a chance that he has reanimated his face to look like Tony Stark, and he's actually a fanboy of Tony Stark.
Yeah. I mean, there's a very strong possibility that he is some form of a Tony Stark.
No. I'm saying I don't think he is a Tony Stark. Like, I don't think he's an actual Tony Stark variant, but he's a fan of Tony Stark. And he has AI'd / transformed his face to look like Tony Stark.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could literally be anything at this point.
Do you think he's the real Doctor Doom?
Personally, I hope not. I really, really hope.
Do you think it would work if he wasn't the real Doctor Doom?
Yes.
Because I don't know if that would work. To have two Dooms?
That's therein lies my problem. Is if he is not the Doctor Doom, like, to me, if you're playing Doctor Doom, you need to be sticking around for a while.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I don't think Kevin Feige would only use Doom for 2 films.
That's like,
especially when one of those films is not a Fantastic Four film.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me ask this. Okay. Let me ask you this. After Secret Wars, and we're supposed to be talking about Captain America. I get it, but
no, I know.
After Secret Wars, do we think that Doom will be around and a bigger player or a big player? And will that Doom be the same Doom that we have been fighting for 2 films?
Say that last part again. Or say it again.
After Secret Wars, will Doom continue to be around? And will it be the same Doom that we are fighting in the 2 Avengers films?
Will he be around?
Is Secret Wars going to be the last time we see Doom?
It better not be. That would be
what your thoughts? Just your thoughts. You like?
It
what do
better
you think?
not be. That'll be the biggest mistake if they use Doom as a 2-movie villain.
Trust me, I agree, because Doom is honestly he's more powerful than Thanos.
Doom is like,
he's bigger than Thanos.
Yeah,
he's arguably the Avengers' biggest villain.
Like, Doom is like, I have a hard time like putting Marvel villains above him. Like,
I'm with you.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of Marvel villains. Like, Doom should be his own phase of a villain. Like, that's how strong he should be. So to use him in just a couple movies would be a huge problem for me.
Okay, guys, we're going to bookmark this, and in 2 years, we'll come back to this when Brian is losing his mind over seeing Doom on the big screen.
Yeah, no, I can talk for another hour just about this. Yeah.
We'll save that for another time.
Okay, fine.
Because Doom is, like you said, is a very long discussion, and we're going to save that conversation for when he does appear, because I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that he's going to be in at least the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four. So,
yeah. I need to come back on just so I can talk about the Fantastic Four trailer.
There's a lot that happened in that trailer.
100%. End it before I start going again.
I don't know where we were. We were talking about the leader a little bit. I think it planned perfectly because on the thumbnail, actually, I put the arrow from the leader to Doom because that's what it's leading towards. He's talking about Doom, essentially. And he's talking about others from the other worlds, meaning the world that Monica Rambeau ends up in the Marvel's post-credit scene. Yeah. And then presumably, we don't know yet, but the world that the Fantastic Four are living in their film as well. That'll be a conversation for another day because that is also a very big question on what world they are in. Have they always been there? And I don't know if you watched, Brian. I got to, okay. You brought it up. I got to talk about it. So I don't know if you watched, but I want an answer to one question and one question only.
Okay.
Do you think the Fantastic Four are from that world?
The world that's going to be the inclusion? No.
No, in their movie. Do you think they are from that world?
From what world?
The world that they're living on in the film.
Do I think that they're
so
the same one as like the mutants, you mean?
No. So I
think I'm misunderstanding it.
So after the trailer, I got a very, very heavy feeling that they aren't actually from that world. That they are from our Earth. They went up to. I think there's a possibility. Hold on. I think that there is a possibility, and a very slight one at this moment, but that they went up to space in the 1960s from 616 Earth, got lost, went through a black hole, ended up on that world, and that's why Reed is actually working on the multiverse travel in the trailer to try to get back home.
I disagree with you.
Okay, that's fair.
I think I personally, and this is what I've always thought of.
Again, this isn't what I it's like a 20% chance.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. I think it's a completely different world, and they literally just happen, or different, whatever. They just happen to be, Galactus is literally just coming, destroy the world, and he's just trying to find a way to get out of it, and they just happen to find our world. I think I think the world that Beast is on, that's going to be the Collider world, and that's it. I think world? no. I think it's like our 616 Beast world, and then Fantastic Four is just over in a.
Well, it's going to get destroyed by Galactus.
Yeah, and they just need to jump into.
And he's going to win, and it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Galactus world.
Fantastic Four is going to. They're going to lose that movie.
Yeah, agreed.
It's going to be like Infinity War, where the villain wins.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and I'll wait to see a world devoured. It's going to be
it's going to be gnarly.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. So we obviously there's a lot that we didn't cover with Brave New World, but I do want to have a very quick discussion. We can spend we don't have to spend that much time on it, but because this movie was.
Okay, can I pause you real quick?
Sure.
Are you going to talk for a second? Can I listen? I'm not joking. My neighbor locked himself outside, and he's reopened the door.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Okay, I can still hear you though.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about who could possibly be part of Sam's Avengers teams, and there's been a lot of rumors about who will be joining him in the fight or who will be in the first Avengers Doomsday. We know through this film, and I don't know, maybe some of you aren't taking it as confirmation. I'm taking it as confirmation at the moment that Sam is going to be the one who is rebuilding the Avengers, that he is going to be the one recruiting and reigniting that organization, because we have to remember the Sokovia Accords, ever since Captain America Civil War, which was released in 2016. So almost 10 years of the Sokovia Accords.
Hey, the range on these things are pretty far.
Almost 10 years of the Sokovia Accords where the Avengers have either been a government team or not a team at all. And because this movie was largely a part of, it was first about Thaddeus Ross wanting to rebuild the Avengers with the help of Sam Wilson. By the end of it, Sam Wilson accepted the gig, but he did it by doing so on his own. and feeling okay with doing so. And now he's off to rebuild the team. So I wanted to briefly talk about who we think will be a part of his first draft of the Avengers. See them in Avengers Doomsday. What are let's just put a round number on it. We'll stick with the original number of the OGs. Let's do 6 characters. And because it kind of felt like this was the case after this film, let's say that Joaquin Torres is actually included, because that's kind of what it felt like. So there's 2 spots already taken. So who are the other 4 that will be with Sam Wilson when we are seeing Avengers Doomsday? And look, to be honest, he could draft a 10-team group because of Infinity War and Endgame and everything that happened there. It could be a group of 10 of them. But let's just stick with 6 because it seems like a good number for that team, and go from there.
I mean, at this point in time,
Shuri's one of them, right?
Yes, that was
Shuri's 100% got to be one of them.
If they don't switch up to a different Black Panther before that,
do you think they will?
No,
I don't think they will. I think she's the Black Panther until.
I think we'll get the new Black Panther after Secret Wars.
Okay.
She's not going to be. I have a hard time believing she will be the Black Panther after Secret Wars.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'd have to see where the story goes, but
yeah, either the son is going to somehow miraculously age and take over, or a time jump or something, or a different world. T'Challa.
I hope it's Aldous Hodge.
I know.
It was a rumor, and I've hook, line, and sinker into that rumor.
I'm 100% bought in on that too.
Yeah.
Are we counting Bucky?
No, I think we have to count the Thunderbolts as a team, similar to how the Guardians joined the Avengers.
Okay.
So I think Bucky for the moment would be out of it, even though we know for a fact.
Because they're 100% going to be the Dark Avengers.
Yeah, well, that's what the asterisk means.
Yeah, 100%. So that's what I'm saying.
By the end of the film, they will be the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
But I think.
And the fact that he literally says in the trailer, we can't call ourselves the Thunderbolts.
Yes. I think. So if Sam came calling, he would bring at least Yelena and
USA
probably John Walker with him. Hopefully by that time it will be the Sentry as well.
Oh boy.
But we'll see. So let's keep Bucky out of it, because I think Bucky's going to be the leader of the Thunderbolts alongside Yelena.
Okay.
Shang-Chi?
I'm personally trying to think. I tend to think of who he's interacted with.
Ant-Man.
So Ant-Man would be one.
Yeah. Bruce Banner? Or do you think Banner stays on the sidelines?
Honestly,
I think he stays on the
sidelines. Maybe
an
unpopular opinion. I'm kind of done with Hulk.
I'm not done with him, but I don't need him to be in the forefront.
I just don't.
I don't mind him.
Yeah. I really. The longer I sit on the MCU, I'm just not a huge fan of Hulk. He didn't get enough time to be Hulk.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree.
But that's a whole different story. Well, shit. If Peter Parker wasn't, if everyone knew,
that's the biggest question. Is, well, to be fair, they still know of Spider-Man, so we have to keep that in mind. Is they just don't know who Peter Parker is, but they know Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean,
the obvious one is Doctor Strange, right? Or do you think he's going to be?
Honestly, I think he'll be gone.
That's true. I think actually you're right. So right now we're at Falcon, we're at Cap, we're at Black Panther, and
Ant-Man.
So we have 4 right now. So 2 slots left.
I tend to think I don't know really how it fits in, him going to her, but I have a hard time believing you don't grab Captain Marvel.
That was my next thought as well. I think she's too important to the future of this team.
100%.
And to me, I know a lot of people. It's very. I do not get the hate towards the character whatsoever.
I don't either.
It baffles me. But if Cap doesn't lead, she leads.
Oh, 100%.
She's the next in line to lead, in my opinion.
I still think that there's a strong possibility in the Mutant Saga that we see Civil War 2.
I agree, and I think actually, you know what I'm thinking is, does Cap
Because-
go to Nick Fury to help?
In what?
To help like put together the Avengers. Do you think Nick Fury is used again? Because he was like the liaison essentially.
I think he's going to be sidelined for a while.
I think so.
Secret Wars tarnished it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I think he needs to. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Nick Fury, love Samuel Jackson, but I think they need to sideline him for a while.
No, you're right.
To get the taste of Secret Wars Secret Invasion out of people's mouths. Yeah, I just have a hard time believing Captain Marvel is not there.
I'm looking at a current list of like characters. It's obviously very slim from the characters we know of. You can't. Let's just get a yes or no out of this. I think a no to both Deadpool and Wolverine, right?
Yeah,
for the time being.
They're not even in the same universe.
Oh, that's right. They're not even in the same Earth. That's right. Yeah. Monica Rambeau's gone. I mean, okay. Well, are we saying yes to Spider-Man?
Honestly, I'm going to say no.
Okay. You don't think he's going to be in Secret Wars or
Doomsday? 100%. 100%. But I don't know if he's going to come out straight up like, hey, I'm Captain America. I need you. Like, I have a feeling he will, I don't want to say insert himself, but like hear or know that something is going on and show up. Like, okay. I could see him kind of just like showing up to it, being like, hey, I'm here to help, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see him being sought out by Captain America. It all depends on what they do in the next Spider-Man movie, personally. If they go ground level, no. I don't see him being it. If they, which I think would be such a big mistake, if they do like multiversal, like space or anything big like that, I pray that they don't, but I have zero faith in Sony. Then yeah, I think he would recruit him. So personally, it depends on what Spider-Man.
Okay, so I will say I don't think he's part of the original or the.
And no Young Avengers are going to be recruited by.
Say it again.
No Young Avengers are going to be recruited.
No, I don't think Young Avengers are going to be included in this whatsoever until Secret Wars, possibly, maybe. I don't think Spider-Man will be part of the initial team.
I don't either.
I'll say this. Here's my 6. Cap, Falcon, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. Did I miss one we talked about? Ant-Man.
I think the obvious last one, but I think he needs to have another movie before it, would be Shang-Chi.
See, now we're leaving out a character like Rhodey. But Rhodey doesn't have any superpowers.
We don't know what's going on with Rhodey because technically we don't know what his stance is because of Secret Invasion. Was that him before or after?
He's left behind then.
Yeah, he's
so because
they just canceled Armor Wars.
So all right, I'll say Cap, Falcon, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, and Ant-Man. Those would be my 6.
Yeah. And you can't count on Thor because no one knows what the hell is going on.
I was just going to say Thor. I think Thor will join in Secret Wars. I don't think he'll be in the initial.
It'll probably be another Infinity War where he just like kind of like shows up.
Well, he's off. He's like Captain Marvel. He's kind of off in the distance right now. Not really.
Yeah,
he's not on Earth with his daughter. Yeah, he's with his daughter and like he's doing his own thing. Yeah, well, we try to keep that movie out of my mouth.
Give me Hercules, please. Please. But I don't. Yeah. I personally.
So that would leave, out of the current characters that we know of, that would leave Hulk, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Peter Quill out of the equation. Because Star-Lord is on Earth.
He is on Earth. Did Falcon interact with him? I don't think so.
We never saw. No, I don't think so. But I mean, they were together.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone from any of the TV shows?
Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Loki.
No. Moon Knight, definitely not.
There's nobody from the TV shows that I can think of. And we have to think like they have to be like Falcon has to know of them from his experience. And I think the 6 that we mentioned, he has a relationship with Scott Lang. He knows Shuri because of the wings and what he did for the Wakandans, and because he was obviously in Wakanda. Joaquin Torres, obviously. He never interacted with Captain Marvel, but they were together fighting, and then they were there at the very end at the funeral. And Shang-Chi, he doesn't know of Shang-Chi, but we have to remember Shang-Chi's post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Where Captain Marvel...
They literally bring him into
Wong. What about Wong?
Oh, yeah. Wong probably...
Wong could be one.
Yeah, and then that's how they kill off Wong.
We could see Wong as an Avenger in Doomsday as a sorcerer. That could be an easy...
And they'll kill him so that way Doctor Strange becomes Sorcerer Supreme.
Which could lead to Captain Marvel not being involved. Oh, no, she was there as well.
Honestly,
Maybe Falcon's not included. Maybe he's not included in the initial team. Maybe he's recovering.
I find it he's literally his right hand.
Yeah, but he was like beaten to shit. They were talking about his spine and everything in the film.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was like a Rhodey situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look, if Rhodey fell out of the freaking sky, and like, I mean,
because you have keeping the shun.
You have to. There has to be some form of magic. Someone's got to be magic that's in there.
Well, Shang-Chi technically has magic.
I know, and that's what.
But we have to keep in mind the post-credit scene from Shang-Chi. Wong, Bruce Banner, Captain Marvel, and Shang-Chi, the 4 of them were in that scene together.
Yeah, 100%.
And kind of seemed like they were the continuation of the Avengers in a way.
Yeah.
And maybe Falcon goes straight to them.
Yeah, the last we heard was they were trying to figure out where the pinging from the bracelet came from, which we obviously probably was going to be Kang, which like that throws a whole rent. They need to figure out a way to go with that. Unless I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, oh, it was the pinging's coming from the other world. Like, I don't know. Cause like
they'll figure it out.
Jonathan Majors got this. God damn it. This kid. I don't.
We're going to open up the roster to 7 and just add Wong to the mix because that makes sense.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love Wong. Love the actor,
he needs to die. So
everything, but he
that's the only way Stephen Strange is going to become Sorcerer Supreme. The only way.
I could see him being in like Doomsday and then them killing him. And then Secret Wars, Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Or he dies at the end. Oh, yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting that Doomsday is the first one. I think he dies at the end of Doomsday, and that's how Stephen Strange becomes. And that's how he learns of everything that's happening while he is off with Clea.
Well, not to mention, there has been heavy rumors of Strange Academy, which, honestly... The thing that will be the biggest tell is what they do from now until Doomsday.
What do you mean?
That of movies and TV shows. Because
do you realize Doomsday is next May? It's 2026, really? Brian.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if they pushed it.
No,
but they already started filming.
They already pushed it once.
That's true.
It's next May. They're filming this year, and it's ready to go. So there's only 3 movies leading into it. Brave New World.
I would also not be surprised if they just pulled Yelena just for this. Like, we need a Black Widow, which would kind of be stupid. But
actually, it's not because Sam's going to call Bucky, and Bucky's going to ask Yelena.
Yeah.
So, no, like, the Thunderbolts don't have to be in it, but Bucky and Yelena could be.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Look, like I said earlier, it could
Thunderbolts is going to tell us a lot, especially what they do with Sentry, because he's a god level character, but he's also the villain.
Well,
So,
by the end of the film, they're probably gonna mind wipe him.
well, you can't mind wipe the Void. They would just have to trap. They would probably trap him in like a realm or something.
Well, no, you can make. I keep forgetting his real name. Robert something.
Who are you talking about?
His real name, Sentry's real name.
Sentry's real name?
Robert something.
Robert Reynolds.
Robert Reynolds. There's this theory running around that I'm kind of buying into, is that because Bucky's involved, they might mind wipe Robert Reynolds like they did Bucky and the Winter Soldier to make him forget that the Void exists. Which would
be hard because the Void is its own entity, though.
I know, but that's the only way that the Void operates, is that it kind of plays on your negativity.
Well, but the Void kind of attaches to you like a parasite.
Oh no, yeah. But I mean, the mind wipe thing with a super soldier in the team, I mean, it kind of could be cool.
Can I say, this is completely off topic, I love the fact that they are not even hiding the fact that they're killing Taskmaster.
No, we haven't seen her in any
scene. Not
one scene.
It's not
even. So bad for Olga Kurylenko. She signed on to this legendary Marvel character and she got shit on.
I don't, because
it's such a bummer, because Taskmaster was a super cool character.
They can redo that.
But to be honest,
they should give it to the guy that was in the movie.
To be honest, not every character can be given justice. Like,
no,
when you're telling a singular story, not everyone fits into it, and Taskmaster just unfortunately wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Thunderbolts is going to be telling a lot, that's for sure. I don't know how much it's going to connect to the whole multiverse thing, but
do we have, other than Daredevil, what TV shows do we have left?
Ironheart.
Okay.
Eyes of Wakanda,
oh no, she won't.
She's going to be Young Avenger.
You know who would be very interesting, and I could see them doing this
as an Avenger?
Not almost, I wouldn't put Avenger, but like liaison kind of.
Okay.
Namor.
I thought about Namor.
Have Shuri grab Namor.
I thought about Namor. Yeah, I don't.
Just because of the way it ended, how they were both like, we're working together. But then again, Namor did say he was using her, so he's kind of playing the bad guy-ish. Which, to be honest, that was one of my things with Captain America, where I was like, there's no way in hell Namor would just be letting all this happen around Tiamat. Like, when he had a problem with them, like having them finding a little bit of vibranium in the ocean. That was my only thing. Like, I mean, again, nitpicky. Like, that's very nitpicky. But
yeah, but adamantium isn't his metal, so maybe he was staying out of it. And also, we have to keep in mind, they still don't know they exist.
Yeah, that's true. That would
Atlantis or Telecon doesn't exist to the world.
That's true. Good point. That would be revealed.
They would have to out themselves, and I think Doomsday / Secret Wars is going to be a chance for them to out themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Because we're obviously headed towards the Illuminati anyway, so.
Yeah. There's got to be.
Brian, by the way.
We what?
We also have Vision Quest next spring.
Oh, that's right. I don't think either
of them are fitting into it, but
Vision could be, but like I don't know. It's kind of hard because like that whole storyline right now is them trying to reunite their family. Mm-hmm. Like that's the main focus, and then for them to immediately be like, all right, let's go be Avengers in this giant.
Scarlet Witch is 100% coming back for Secret Wars, right? She has to.
Oh, she has to. She has to.
No question.
Absolutely. Like she absolutely has to. They might sideline her for Doomsday, which
I think she will be sidelined for Doomsday.
Which I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, that's right. And Wonder Man too. That's right. Although, honestly, I really think that they're going to try to do a West Coast Adventures. I think they might throw Moon Knight to the West Coast.
No,
He goes there in the comics.
no, we're gonna have
Oh, you think he's going to be a street level, like Midnight Sun type stuff?
It's what's the name? The team of the Doctor Strange, the Dark People.
I just told you, Midnight Suns.
Night Suns, yeah, Midnight Suns. Yeah. I think Midnight
Yeah.
Suns. I think Midnight Suns is happening. That's where Doctor Strange leads. That's where Blade fits in. That's where Moon Knight fits in. That's where Deadpool could fit in.
That's another telling thing is if they can get Blade out before there's no way.
I think Blade will come out before Secret Wars.
Oh yeah.
And I think Spider-Man 4 will come out before Secret Wars.
Yeah, today they said they already cast someone as the main villain. So I think honestly I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man is the first movie after Doomsday.
I think it will be similar to how it was the first movie after Endgame. That's exactly what happened last time.
Yeah, I think it'll be the first movie after Doomsday.
I don't know if it's my hope or my dreams or me being naive, but I am really fucking holding out hope that Spider-Man 4 is Spider-Man and Daredevil versus Kingpin. I am really holding out hope.
I mean, that would be the smart thing. Like
you would think that would make sense.
But at the end of the day, we have to deal with Sony for Spider-Man. And
Have you watched Venom 3, by the way?
No. I won't.
It comes out on. I think it comes out on Netflix in like a week or two.
So does it? Okay, perfect. Because I refuse to spend money. I have like 21 free Cinemark movies, and I still won't use it.
So
I just still refuse to.
On Prime Video, like 3 weeks ago, it was discounted for rent for $5, so I rented it, and that's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Yeah, And the funny thing is, I'm still like spoiler free of that movie. Not that I care. Like it's shocking to me that
I think you won't mind the last 20-ish minutes of it. But yeah.
I don't.
Anyway, I don't want to get on Sony because that whole thing.
Oh no. I just there's a lot. It sucks that like I just am like at this point where I'm like, get me to Secret Wars.
No, I'm not like that either. I'm not like that at all.
No,
I want to see everything in between. I want to see.
Oh no, don't get me. Yeah, I meant just like. Oh, I hope they've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, this is what we're doing to Secret.
I think 2025 is where the tide turns and everything.
Oh, I agree with you on that.
I think everything is shifting towards that because everyone has been talking about for the last, let's say 5 years, because 2019 was Endgame. Let's say that for the last 5 years. Okay, well, like what are we doing? How does everything connect? I think this is now where everything is starting to blend. I mean, this movie was all about Sam becoming the eventual leader of the Avengers. That's the start of it all. That's what
the movie is literally him becoming Captain America.
Yeah,
like that.
So I think Thunderbolts, obviously, it isn't connecting to the Avengers, but it could be telling on what is really happening, because we have to keep in mind too, like from what we've seen in the trailers, it's taking place in New York, and there's a lot of heroes in New York that aren't in the trailer or in the film.
How is that Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So like that's very interesting. And then we have Fantastic Four, which is going to be a huge tell because we know they're in Doomsday. And
by the time you get to Spider-Man 4, Kingpin will be the mayor of New York.
I think he's the mayor of New York right now.
At the point of Daredevil?
Mm-hmm. Or at least by the end of the show, I think he's the mayor of New York.
I think Daredevil, he'll be running for mayor.
I think by the end of season 1, we'll see him as the mayor, if not earlier.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you have a really good New York ground and pound neighborhood setup. Because, I mean, you have Kingpin, You have Moon Knight. You have Daredevil. You have, I mean, let's be honest. Jessica Jones is.
Was Moon Knight in New York? No, he wasn't. He was in London, wasn't he? I thought he was in England, right?
That's right. That's
They
right.
changed it to England for this story.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Which is how Blade fits in, because I think Blade is
Blade's
British.
Blade's in New York, is in London because of the end of Eternals when what's his face?
Mm-hmm. Black Knight.
Who else is there? I mean, you definitely have.
Well, Jessica Jones. She's 100% coming back.
100%. I mean, Punisher, good call.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Kate Bishop, technically. You have Hawkeye.
Yeah, true. Those two are technically both still there. Who else is in New York? I mean, I was going to say Doctor Strange is there.
Wong.
Wong. I mean, he is. Yeah, I know. I have the Sanctum Sanctorum right there.
Nice. No, there's a lot of stuff happening in New York. A lot.
Yeah, you could even go.
That makes sense.
You could even say Luke Cage and Iron Fist, but I tend to think that they're gonna wait on that. Elektra, God knows what's going on with her. They literally
there's a rumor. I'm actually doing a video on it tomorrow. There's a rumor that Elodie Young is going to come back to play her.
Yeah, I mean,
I think lose my mind.
I think at this point you kind of like
you have to. If you're bringing back Karen Page and Foggy Nelson and everybody from that show, you have
Daredevil. Like it's at this point, and it's not like she was horrible by any means. Like she wasn't a bad.
Echo in New York.
Is she in New York or is she in Oklahoma?
Well, I guess she's back in Oklahoma still, but I guess she kind of teeters between the two.
Yeah. And don't forget, you still have some characters that like they created. Like what's Kiori? How I forgot. Is that her name? The one from What If?
Well, the What If stuff we're keeping out of. We're just keep. I don't think we.
I think they're gonna put her at some point, but I don't know. Yeah, New York's a hot spot. I have a hard time believing they're just going to keep Wonder Man as this entity by himself in LA. Not when you have an actor that is fantastic like he is. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they wanted to scrap that, they could have, but like they didn't. Yeah. They finished it. I mean, you technically have She-Hulk too. In LA.
She's in LA, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like she's out there too.
I think Vision Quest will take place in LA.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Well, I'm trying to remember.
Vision is part of the West Coast Avengers, so
where was
Well, I guess it would actually not because of Agatha and because of WandaVision, maybe not because of the whole Tommy thing. I guess it would have to be relatively close to Westview. Westview was in New Jersey.
Was it New Jersey? That's what my question was.
It was New Jersey. So I guess Vision Quest will probably take place on the East Coast.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that.
But if we're dealing with Tommy, it has to be.
Yeah. I don't think
I think this conversation is going to have to be pushed to another show.
Yeah,
we're going to have to do a full-blown Marvel conversation because we've reached the 2-hour limit.
You enjoyed Agatha, right? I don't think we ever talked about it. Okay, cool.
I did have...
No, I meant just you and me talk. Like,
yeah, no, I did. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. There were some things here and there, but I thought it was a very strong show for what it was trying to do and is very specific on what it was trying to do. I'm curious how everything fits in because it's so vastly different from anything we've seen.
I loved it.
I'm not surprised. That show, it's right up your alley. Specifically because of Joe Locke.
Joe Locke? Oh no. Honestly, he was one of the characters probably on the lower end that I liked.
You didn't like him? Really?
I liked him, but I didn't think I thought Patti LuPone damn near stole the show sometimes.
Who did she play?
Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Patti LuPone's the
older woman?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, she was great.
I mean, everyone was so good.
Everyone was great. The whole collection of characters that they had. Was great.
Not to mention the one chick ended the show flying off into the thing. So there's another power.
And she's still out there. So I think I'm just curious where all of that fits in because of the magic stuff. Like, I don't think it's going to fit into the larger universe.
No.
I think Wiccan he's going to be a young Avenger, but like you said earlier, this story of them is all about getting their family back together. And then once all of that happens, we'll see.
Yeah, Vision Quest is going to be very telling, in my opinion, of a lot of things, especially, obviously, Scarlet Witch. Like, that's...
Do you think she shows up?
I don't think that she shows up, but I think they allude to that she's alive. Like, it's like, let's go get your mom.
Did they not allude to that in Agatha? I thought they alluded to that in Agatha. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, she kind of like... Agatha kind of like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think she just like hinted at the idea that her mom, like, you think your mom's dead? Or
I think,
like,
kind of like, do you think like a mountain really would take her out, like type thing? But like at the same time, it wasn't like a definitive, type thing. But which, like I said, I don't think she'll be in Doomsday, but she's gonna be huge, I think, in Secret Wars.
She has to make it to at least the X-Men stuff, because what the fuck are you doing if she doesn't?
Oh yeah, that's. Oh.
So we'll see. All right,
Captain America.
We're gonna call it. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours of glorious Marvel talk. We spent the last probably 40 minutes or so everything outside of Captain America: Brave New World. But look, there's a lot of things in the MCU right now. Andy has an interesting comment.
What?
If anything, Agatha confirmed Wanda's dead in 616. That's how Agatha started to break free.
Yeah, she's dead, but I mean, like, in the sense of like,
I don't think she's dead.
I mean, she's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
I think she made herself some type, like, I think she fully intended to make herself, for lack of a better term, disappear and fully disappear.
She's dead for now.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we're seeing a variant of Wanda be the main Wanda going forward, if that's what you're looking to, Andy.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows?
There's no way they would not put her out and that be the end of it.
Yeah, because her sons are about to be reincarnated. So
yeah.
All right, that's gonna cover everything Captain America: Brave New World. That's gonna cover everything Fantastic Four. That's gonna cover everything Thunderbolts. We'll do another show. I'm sure we'll do one between now and Thunderbolts, just talking about Marvel in general. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not confirmed. It's not official. I don't want to get you guys' hopes up, but I am really hoping to do something Daredevil on the channel. So stay tuned for that. I got to talk to this gentleman on my right for what
Breaking
you guys
news.
And talk about that, as well as some other folks, to see if we can get something together. But Brian, thanks for joining, man. I know you've been missing this, and
I know. Hence why we went from.
I know you had almost a year of thoughts to get out on camera. So
what is your normal length? An hour?
About an hour, yeah. But look, it was a big movie, and there's a lot of stuff for the universe, and it's totally warranted and fine. So, I know you're not on social media, so I'm not going to have you plug anything because you don't.
I mean, if you find anything, it's Bia Volcino. So
there you go, easy enough. You guys know where to find me: TikTok, Instagram, all the other stuff. Cool, Blue Sky and everything. Sure, why not?
I forgot about that one.
I know. I'll be back next week with a live show Tuesday, 6 o'clock Pacific. I'm also hoping to get a Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 video out to you guys here this week. Spoiler alert, I fucking loved it. We'll talk more about that. Did
you get the trailer for the movie before yours?
The trailer for the movie? Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay, I was curious.
You guys can see all my thoughts on everything daily on TikTok. Again, it's all up there. Appreciate it, Brian. Appreciate it, man. Thank you as always.
That was fun. I missed this.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Thank you guys for joining. If you're watching live or on the playback, I greatly appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.